Hi everyone, my name is Kuah Jenhan. I would like to call this segment on my presentation, All I Want is a Funny Girl. But before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm a stand-up comedian, as you heard from Elaine, and here's how I started comedy. I was from a boys' school, 11 years, a Methodist boys' school. And in boys' school, things are a bit different. Your looks had no value. The currency was sports or humor. And I was a shit basketballer, neither was I a good footballer. So humor was my money. And in school, I would put on comedy sketches every school celebration, and at the end of school, I would feel like I was the richest boy there. And I had a short-term dream in school, which was to perform in Actors Studio Bangsa. It's closed down now. Not my fault, not my fault. Not my fault. There was no KL back then, no PG Live Arts, no Black Box, it was just Actors Studio Bangsa. And it was my short-term dream. And one day they had an event called Free Flow, which was an open mic. All I knew about the event was anyone who paid 10 ringgit had 10 minutes on stage. So I paid 10 ringgit, which was my allowance for the week then. And they say, do comedy. And I say, Ken, I'll put on a sketch for you. And they say, no, this is different. This is stand-up comedy. It is one man, one mic telling jokes, which I have never heard of in my life then. I went home, wrote some jokes, came back the next day, and I performed my first show. Hit and miss, it was okay. Months later, my comedy friends from that event called me up and said, Jenhan, there's a comedy competition happening in a bar in KL. And I said, I don't know what's this, I don't even know what I'm doing, so I'm going to pass. And then he says, first place 500 ringgit. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. So my second show, the preliminaries, I got in. My third show, the finals, I won. And it was just a small competition, but thanks for the applause. I won, and then I won my 500 ringgit. And at the time, the event organizer came up to me and said, boy, I give you another 500 ringgit if you do what you do at my event. At that point, I honestly asked him, you mean people do this as a job? And he said, yes. And then that was how I became a comedian. But let's talk about today. Let me just say what everybody here in this hall is thinking right now. What on earth is a comedian doing here at TEDxKLWomen? Like, I'm also asking the same question. So it's okay to ask this question. But I'm here today to talk about the gap, which is gender equality. Okay, I'll be frank. I'm not an expert at gender equality. But if you ask me, can women be as successful as men? Yes, of course they can. Can women be as smart as men? Definitely, probably even smarter. Can women be as skillful as men? Yes, correct. But why does gender inequality still exist? I don't know. But I think I know how we can achieve this. I think I have the answer. Women can achieve this, gender equality, through some of my best traits. Mediocrity, childishness, and being a loser. That's what I believe. I'm a man, okay? I'm a man, and let me put it out there. Men are losers. That's who we are. Okay, for example, okay? We men can meet our friends 7 years later, exchange only 5 sentences, and still be best friends. That is how little effort we put into things. Okay, and when guys go out, when my friends Devon, Alif, Guijin, Yujo, and Jenhan go out, we'll be known as bozo, pendek, shit-face, idiot, and fat ass. But when Sandra, Mei Ling, Noriza, and Lakshmi go out, they will be known as Sandra, Mei Ling, Noriza, and Lakshmi. That's how nonsense we men are, okay? And I think when women embrace this, we might have a shot, okay? I didn't actually finish my story on how I became a comedian. So the event organizer gave me 2 shows. They gave me 2 shows. 2 shows which I had no idea how to handle then. I bombed those shows. It was those horrible shows, and when you do a bad show, it really feels like everybody in the audience just dumped you and they have formed an anti-you club. It was heartbreaking for me as a young boy, and I was so afraid but a comedy in a long shot. Look at the simplest image of comedy, a clown sleeping on a banana peel. It's funny, and I thought I found what I want, but somehow it was different, it was weird. She was so funny that some of her jokes were better than mine. And that made me feel very inferior and pressured all the time. So you see, I think when women say they want a guy with a sense of humor, what they mean is, I want a guy who can make me laugh, right? And when men say, I want a girl with a sense of humor, what we men, losers, with our distorted perception actually means, I want a girl who will laugh at my jokes. That's what I think it is.